Level 1. The Desperate Sign-On.
Belfast, autumn of 1911. The gantries rise above the city like iron cathedrals. You stand in the queue with 70 other men. The wind smells of the Logan River, low-tide mud, coal dust, and the sweet rot of old rope. Your coat is too thin. Your boots are not your own. You need work. Your father's hands gave out last spring. Your mother's cough has a wetness to it now. The White Star Line pays firemen 37 shillings a week. 37 shillings. You calculate the loaves of bread, the rent, the medicine. The man in front of you has a scar from his ear to his jaw. He doesn't speak. Neither do you. The interviewer barely looks up. He asks if you can stoke a boiler. You say yes. You have never touched a marine furnace in your life. He stamps your card, trimmer and fireman, RMS Titanic. You walk home with the paper in your pocket. The weight of it is nothing. The weight of it is everything. I'm just watching, just curious. Nothing has happened yet.
Level 2. The Boiler Room.
Southampton, April 10th, 1912. You descend the ladder into Boiler Room 6. The heat hits you like a wall you didn't see coming. It is not the dry heat of a summer day. It is the wet, suffocating heat of an animal's mouth. You can taste it. Copper and rust and the sharp chemical tang of the grease on the furnace doors. Your job is simple. Shovel, swing the door open, shovel again. The coal is black and wet and leaves a dust that settles in your eyelashes, your nostrils, the back of your throat. You cough and it tastes like the future. 29 boilers, 3 furnaces each. You learn the rhythm. Swing, shovel, slam. The ship groans beneath you. The steel breathes. Expansion joints tick like a watch. First week's wages, 37 shillings. You send 25 home. You buy a new belt. You also start sleeping with your shoes on. You tell yourself it's efficiency. It's just this one time. I'll stop after this. A favor, nothing more.
Level 3. The Language of Steel.
3 days out. You no longer notice the heat. This is the first sign of corrosion. You learn the ship's true language, not English, not Irish, the language of vibration. The deck plates hum differently when you're doing 45 revolutions per minute. The water glass on the boiler tells you everything, the dance of mercury, the false comfort of a steady flame. You can walk the alleyways blindfolded now. Scotland Road, the long corridor that runs the length of E-deck. The crew calls it the park. You know which floorboards squeak, which hatches stick, which stewards will look the other way. The smell down here changes. Coal dust, yes, but underneath it, the slow release of new paint, the sweet, sharp bite of linseed oil. The ship is still curing, still dying. You don't know that yet. You teach a new trimmer how to stack the coal against the starboard wall. You say, counteracts the list. He nods. You see yourself in his wide eyes. You don't say anything else. I'm good at this. That's not a bad thing. I'm just efficient.
Level 4. The Promotion. April 14th. You are called up to the forward mess. The chief engineer's steward hands you a slip of paper. You have been moved from trimmer to leading fireman. The wage changes. 52 shillings a week. 52. You could buy new boots for your brother. You could send your mother to a doctor who isn't just the woman down the street with the iodine and the steady hands. You could matter. That night, you eat in the second-class galley. Real meat, gravy that isn't just flour and water. You sit across from a man who has been at sea for 20 years. He doesn't ask your name. He asks if you've been to the crow's nest. You say no. He says good. Nothing up there but wind and the promise of things you can't see. You laugh. The laugh sounds wrong. Too loud, too fast. You write a letter home that night. You lie in every sentence. The work is fine. The food is good. I am safe. You seal the envelope with wax you stole from the purser's office. The money is the point. This is what winning looks like. I earned this. Level 5. The Cold. Sunday night, you are off watch. You walk the well deck to clear the coal dust from your lungs. The air is wrong. Not cold, something else. Something that has forgotten what warmth means. You stop walking. The sea is flat, flat like painted glass, flat like something waiting.
The stars are too bright, too many of them. You can see constellations you've never noticed before. The ship is making way at 22 knots. You can feel the rhythm in your molars. The crow's nest bell rings. Once. Twice. You look up. You see nothing. The temperature drops. You feel it first in your ears, then your fingers, then the soft skin under your eyes. The deck is dry. No spray, no wind, just the slow, terrible quiet of a world holding its breath. The radiator near the foremast ticks. You count the seconds between ticks. 17. Was it always 17? You go back below. The firemen are laughing. Someone is singing a song about a girl in Queenstown. You stand at the boiler door and you do not laugh. You do not sing. I can stop any time I want. I just don't want to yet. This is still under control. Level 6. The mask. The impact comes through the hull like a cough, dull, internal. The ship shudders once and then steadies. You know. Every fireman knows. You feel it in the water glass first. The level drops again. The pumps kick on. The emergency bells from the engine room telegraph, a sound like a child slamming piano keys. You run. Scotland Road is chaos. Stewards with white faces. Stokers pulling on boots that aren't theirs. A pantry boy standing in the corridor with a tray of sandwiches, frozen as if service will resume any moment. You reach Boiler Room 6. The water is already there, just above the floor plates. Cold, shocking, the cold of a grave that has been waiting. The order comes down from the bridge. Draw the fires, vent the steam. You have practiced this, you have drilled this, but practice was dry. Practice was pretend. Now your hands shake as you pull the damper handles. The steam screams as it vents, a sound like 1,000 tea kettles falling downstairs. A man beside you stops moving. He just stands there, mouth open, eyes wet. You grab his collar. You pull him toward the ladder. You do not look back at the water. It is rising faster now.
They don't need to know. It's better if they don't. I'm protecting them.
Level 7. The wait. You reach the boat deck at 12:45 a.m. The ship is listing to port, not dramatically, just enough that you have to correct your gait. A musician is playing a violin somewhere. You cannot find the source. The sound seems to come from the sky. They are loading Lifeboat 7. Officer Murdoch is shouting numbers. Women and children first. You stand at the rail. A woman hands you an infant. You do not remember taking it. You hand the infant to a man in a lifebelt. He looks at you like you have just asked him to commit a murder. You climb into the boat. You do not remember deciding to climb. The boat lowers. 40 feet, 50. The ropes burn through the crew's gloves. Someone is praying in a language you do not recognize. You look up. The ship's portholes are glowing orange, warm, inviting, like a village seen from a hill at dusk. Then the screaming starts. You will never describe this sound, not to your wife, not to your children, not to the priest who visits you 30 years later when you are dying in a bed that smells of urine and rosewater. The screams are not human. They are the sound of a throat forgetting it belongs to a person. You sit in the boat. You do not row. You do not speak. You watch the ship's stern rise higher and higher until the propellers are visible, 3 blades, each the size of a house, dripping black water. It's too late to stop. This is who I am now. The path back is gone. Level 8. The Inversion. The Carpathia picks you up at 4:30 a.m. You climb the rope ladder. Your hands are bleeding. You don't feel it. A steward wraps a blanket around your shoulders. You don't feel that either. You walk to the third-class dining saloon. They have set up cots, coffee, brandy for the women. You stand in the corner. Someone offers you a biscuit. You take it. You do not eat it. In the window, you see your reflection. You do not recognize the face looking back. The eyes are wrong, too flat, too still, like the sea before it broke. You touch your own cheek,
The reflection touches back. This is you. This is what you look like now. A man who sat in a boat while 1,500 people learned how to drown. You think about the trimmer you trained, the one with the wide eyes. You did not see him on the rope ladder. You did not see him anywhere. The ship's doctor walks through the room. He asks if anyone needs medical attention. You do not raise your hand. You are not injured. You are not anything. I'm just protecting myself. That's all that's left. Me. Just me.
Level 9. The Silence.
New York, April 18th. You disembark with the other survivors. The pier is crowded with reporters, photographers, women holding signs that say rescued. You walk past them. You do not answer questions. You do not give your name. You find a boarding house on Cherry Street. The room costs $4 a week. It has a window that faces a brick wall. You sit on the bed. You stay there for 3 days. The White Star Line gives you a payment, $15. You use it to buy a new coat. You wear the coat for 23 years, until the elbows are gray, and the collar is frayed, and the pockets hold nothing but lint and the ghost of a biscuit you never ate. You go back to sea, different ships, different routes. You never speak of the Titanic, not once, not to anyone. When someone asks where you were in April of 1912, you say Liverpool. You say you were in dry dock. You say you don't remember. But you remember everything. The sound of the water rising, the smell of the new paint mixing with the salt, the way the stars looked when the lights finally went out, brighter than you thought possible, like someone had opened a door you were never meant to see. You work. You send money home. You outlive everyone who knew your name before that night. This is who I was always supposed to be, wasn't it?
Level 10. The Echo.
You are old now. The sea is a memory you can't quite trust. Your hands curl inward. Arthritis. The doctor says it's from the cold, from the wet, from the years of shoveling coal into furnaces that have long since been scrapped. You live in a house that smells of boiled cabbage and your own slowing blood. Your daughter visits on Sundays. She brings soup. She asks about your dreams. You say you don't dream, but you do. You dream of the ladder, the one you climbed down into Boiler Room 6, the one you climbed up to the boat deck. In the dream, the ladder never ends. You climb, and below you, the water rises, and you never reach the top. You wake up dry-mouthed, your hands flat on the sheets. Outside your window, a young man walks past. He wears a cap, work boots, a coat that is too thin. He is walking toward the docks, toward the ships, toward the same lie you told yourself on a cold morning in Belfast 40 years ago. You open your mouth to call out to him. Nothing comes out. He doesn't turn around. He doesn't hear you. And somewhere below him, in the dark of a ship that hasn't been built yet, a boiler room is waiting to teach him the same lesson.